Every test and exam has its rules. Even games, they have rules as well. आगे आगे आ जाइए, जगह खाली पड़ी हुई है, भाई पीछे बैठे हुए. Even games, they have rules as well. The greatest test which has been faced by anyone is the test set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa azza wa jal. And Allah azza wa jal laid down the rules of that test, or for children, if they can understand the rule of this game. One rule which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for the game, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has conveyed this to Anbiya alayhim salam, that one of the rules of this game and this test, which test? The test which we all know, and that is our existence here on the face of the earth. And the purpose of our existence and how to fulfill it. One of the rule of that game which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even conveyed to Anbiya alayhim salam really made it very, very difficult for the prophets, Anbiya alayhim salam, and also for other people who followed them like awliya Allah, who have been conveying the message and trying to make people successful in this world. That one rule makes their job very, very difficult. And what is that rule? Tests are obviously very, very obvious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, and you know as well, anything which taking you, distracts you, takes you away from Allah Azza wa Jal and His remembrance, then this is a test for you, and you are either failing or passing it. Tareeqah Muhammadiyah teaches the person to play this game for the children and for adults to pass this test in the most best with highest marks. And it can be Tareeqah Muhammadiyah, the way of Rasulullah ﷺ, can be summed up in 3 sentences. In 3 sentences. One, the purpose of Tareeqah Muhammadiyah is that you think like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you feel like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you act like the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. So simply 3 things, no more, no less. Thinking like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to have the mind of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, that how he used his mind. That's what the Tareeqah Muhammadiyah teaches. One of the integral part is this, the necessary part. That you also, being a human being, think like the Prophet ﷺ. In day and night, what he thought in different scenarios, when different things happened to him. He had enemies, he had friends, they were all temptation of the world, and also temptations and animosity from shayateen, but his mind was working and thinking in a particular way. The Tareeqah Muhammadiyah gradually tries to take the person at least his mind starts to think like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mind. That's why there is purification of the mind in there. Secondly, we want people, the mashayikh say, you should feel like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How the feelings, the character, the attitude, he has the inner attitude, be it compassion, be it forgiveness, the inner akhlaq, the inner qualities, be it being merciful, be it being considerate, be it being having zuhud of dunya, or the love of akhirah, feelings. In that comes character. This is the third part of the tariq which he teaches. And thirdly, to act like the Prophet ﷺ. And that is to use your 7 organs in the obedience and following like Rasulullah ﷺ. So dekhe mashayikh ne, awliya ne, scholars, how easy they have made that there's no difficulty, no ifs and buts, no shaded area, no confusion. बस ये 3 बातें वो कहते कर लो तो तुम दुनिया के कामयाब तरीन इंसान बन जाओगे. सोचो तो नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की तरह सोचो, और तुम्हारा रवैया और बिहेवियर और अखलाक ये हजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की पैरवी में आ जाए और तुम्हारा अमल नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का अमल बन जाए. Thinking like the Prophet, feeling like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and acting like I mean copying. So that is why from the very beginning, when any person comes to join the way of salvation, first thing he is taught to make your purpose. What was the purpose of the Prophet ﷺ as well? Prophet ﷺ was not in pursuit of dunya or any other attainment other than Allah Azza wa Jal's pleasure. So first time the person come, the mashayikh say, brother, sister, we want you to make the purpose of your life the pleasure and radha of Allah. Why? Because this was the purpose of the Prophet ﷺ. He was always concerned about this. And secondly, then he said, then how can I do it? How can I do it? He says, then you can do it by thinking like the Prophet. How? Bring your beliefs briefly in line with the Prophet ﷺ's beliefs. What he had, his world view was, what he thought about the world, what he thought about the akhirah, what he thought about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person is taught this, and then after they are, for example, given the exercise of the tongue sheet, this is like they are trained to act. Their tongue is being trained to act, to speak like Prophet ﷺ in obedience and in following him. Similarly, then purification of the mind, and then purification of the heart. When they have purification of the mind, they are thinking like the Prophet ﷺ. When they have purification of the heart, they are feeling, their conduct, inner conduct becomes like in the obedience of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then they become closer to Allah and they achieve their aim and objective. तो ये असूल याद रखे. कोई बड़ी किताबें याद करने की बहुत बड़ी, very thick, to know, how to do things, what is the purpose, how to do it. Simply these 3 things you bring in line with the Prophet ﷺ's 3 things, alhamdulillah, that's what you have achieved, what you were sent for. Now it's bonus whatever you live, and you share this goodness and this beauty with other humanity and jinnat until you live. That's all. See, one is you get your own stomach, enough food, you can move around. So you have enough energy. अब जब आपको मिल गया है, तो अब जितनी जिंदगी है, ज़्यादा खाना आपको मिल रहा है, you have abundance of it, आप दूसरों में तकसीम करते रहो. Now keep distributing it in people until your death comes, you are successful. Similarly, first thing is to you attain, your heart receives the blessings of the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Your mind receives the thought of the thoughts of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Your body acts like the Prophet ﷺ's blessed body, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bestow you more blessing, spiritual blessings and the qurb and the closeness of Allah. Then what you do? Then you share it with others. You actually divide it, you share those blessings, you give dawah, you preach, you convey the message. And whilst doing that, you die. That's how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left and departed from this world. He himself acted how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to act. He himself thought like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to think. And he felt and conduct like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that Allah azza wa jal said, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. He doesn't speak even one word with his own passion and own desire. No. Such a model he is that he spoke every word with the instruction and wahi of Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he himself was an embodiment of the pleasure of Allah, a model for the pleasure of Allah. And second thing, all his life, after he received the Quran, he have been preaching, conveying, sharing the goodness with all humanities, saying to all humanity, oh, all humanity and jinnat, let us share an eternal bliss and eternal kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter. Let me actually give you and show you the way to it. And until the end of his physical departure, even his last words, he was teaching the commands of Allah and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is modeling, meaning that you also model yourself upon those lines. Then